When is it going to happen, guys? When are we going to get a new Superman game? I'm going to reveal all of the information that I've gathered that could answer this question. And as a bonus, I'm going to reveal to you the good news we got about Suicide Squad yesterday. Let's start with the answer to a question we all have. Will we get a new Superman game? The answer is yes, guys. Yes, we will get a new Superman game, obviously. But guys, hold on a second. We're missing something here. There's another question we need to ask ourselves, a more important question. When will we get a new Superman game? It looks like we're not going to know the specific answer to this question for a while, but fortunately, it looks like we might be able to get a broad answer instead. Some little tidbits of information here and there that could be suggesting that a new Superman game is possibly closer than we all think. The very first piece of information is, I believe that there is a very high chance that this is possible spoilers for the game. If you do not want to get possibly spoiled, skip to this time mark right here, guys, alright? We're going back to the video in 3, 2, 1... The spoiler article for Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. This piece of information was given to us by Miller Ross, and it's very clear, as stated here, that it is a big spoiler warning for the game. And if we look at the spoilers that he said in this article, he makes it very clear, saying, make no mistake, the Justice League survives the events of Suicide Squad. From what I've been able to uncover through my own data mining and a month of research and counting, each death is presented with several hints to the audience that they're fake outs. By the end of the Brainiac storyline set up during the base campaign, the Justice League are reunited and get their revenge against the multiversal supervillain and Task Force X. These piecemeal reintroductions also mark perfect opportunities for the Justice League to be playable, however briefly. Okay, so 1, it looks like the Justice League do survive, meaning that there is a possible chance for more Superman in the future, and 2, the Justice League are apparently playable, meaning that we get to play as Superman, also teasing that we could possibly end up playing with his gameplay in the future. The person who revealed this information to us, Miller Ross, guys, I'm going to be trusting him on this one, okay? It sounds like he's very reliable. He gave a lot of good evidence for Avengers back in the day, and even Suicide Squad now. He debunked some of the leaks about Batman dying back then, and he even gave us this entire spoiler article. So some people may be thinking this is possibly fake, but I'm going to believe that there's a very high chance that this actually does end up happening. Piece of information number 2, James Gunn. Back on December 17th, James Gunn replied to this tweet asking him, hey James, is the Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League game going to be the final game for the Arkham universe? And James Gunn replied with no plans of it being the last. A lot of people lost their minds after hearing this from James Gunn. A lot of people got happy for the future of the Arkhamverse and what games can be included, and then a lot of people probably got upset because they already feel like the Arkhamverse is already ruined because of Suicide Squad. But because James Gunn said this, it looks like there's possibly a very good chance of there being more Arkham games in the future, and even a Superman game being a part of that Arkham universe. Or maybe not the Arkhamverse, maybe just the DCU gaming verse that James Gunn said that he wants to include into his DCU plans. So a Superman game can possibly be in either the Arkhamverse or the DCU gaming verse that James Gunn wants to make popular. Whichever ends up happening, it looks like there's a good chance for a Superman game to be included in either of these. Piece of information number 3, the fans, guys. The fans are probably the biggest reasoning for why there's probably going to be a Superman game in the near future for all of us. Ever since the release of Batman Arkham Knight 9 years ago, us fans have been begging, us fans have been demanding, us fans have been hoping so badly for a new Superman game to be made after Arkham Knight. I'm adding something to what I just said. A lot of fans have also been hoping for another Batman Arkham game starring Batman again. WB clearly knows this, guys. WB knows that the fans are begging for a Superman game to be made eventually, either in the Arkhamverse or in the DCU gaming verse made by James Gunn, if he is going through with those plans. There has been a lot of controversy with Suicide Squad, but one big piece of controversy that WB has absolutely heard has been fans complaining about this game being made instead of a Superman game. I am very excited for Suicide Squad, but if I'm being completely honest, it looks like this game might underperform WB's expectations. It looks like this game might be a small failure, a big failure. Regardless of what it is, WB is wanting to learn from this experience and finally listen to what the fans have to say when they say they want a Superman game all this time later. Piece of information number 4, WB Games Montreal's next game. It has been confirmed for a while now that we are getting a new game from WB Games Montreal, and it also is saying that this new game from them is a part of the DC Comics universe. The picture that I am showing is from James Sigfield's tweet that he made on Twitter back on February 9th, 2021. 2023. It looks like James Sickfield is another reliable person just like Miller Ross, and he's giving us all of this information that it is another DC Comics universe game. It is a single player game and it is being made in Unreal Engine 5. Possibly the only thing I can find here that could suggest that this game could end up being a Superman game is the fact that this game is being made on Unreal Engine 5. We all know that Superman is an insanely OP character, and he is possibly a very hard character to make a game for because of how fast he is, how strong he is, how invulnerable he is, etc. With this game being made on Unreal Engine 5, it gives the studios more possibilities on what they can do in this game versus what they could have done in Unreal Engine 4. They probably could have done some stuff with Superman in Unreal Engine 4, but the fact that they're getting an upgrade with Unreal Engine 5, it's making it easier for them to make a game for someone like Superman. The Superman game that all of us have been wanting, it sounds like most of us here have been wanting Rocksteady to take that responsibility, but Rocksteady is going to be preoccupied with Suicide Squad for the next couple of years, adding post-launch DLC content, and even it's going to take them more time to make their next game release whenever that ends up happening. It's 2024 right now. Rocksteady is going to be giving this game a lot of updates for several months, maybe a couple of years, so I wouldn't be surprised at all if Rocksteady's next game eventually ends up getting released in 2028, 2029 maybe 2027, maybe even 2030, who knows. WB Games Montreal has been working on their new game for a while now, so I will not be surprised at all if this game by them eventually ends up getting released in the next couple of years in 2020. I doubt 2025. What is it? 2026, maybe 2027, at latest 2028 maybe, but it is very safe to assume that WB Games Montreal's next game is going to release before Rocksteady's next game, and it could end up being a Superman game by WB Games Montreal. With all of the recent change in WB and these new people wanting to push Superman out into the media more, it looks like WB possibly gave the responsibility to WB Games Montreal to give us a Superman game as quickly as possible, while Rocksteady, who possibly is the better candidate to make this Superman game, they are going to be distracted by Suicide Squad for the next couple of years, like I said, so they want this Superman game out as fast as possible. They're probably going to give that responsibility over to WB Games Montreal and see how that ends up turning out. Piece of information number 5, and the very last piece of information, David Zaslav's comments. David Zaslav, the man himself, the CEO of all of Warner Bros. Discovery, the boss of bosses, said this in an interview. When we launch a product on Max or HBO and when we have a game, that belongs to us, but now there's this in-betweener. It may be in the next couple of years that we launch a Superman movie and people spend more time and there's more economics of people just hanging out in the Superman world and universe. It's like I said, guys, WB and even the CEO himself of all of Warner Bros. Discovery want to push out Superman more in the media. They want to push him out through movies. They want to push him out through the comics. They want to push him out through the TV shows, even the games. This entire thing was from an investor's call where a big topic of discussion was about video games. They want us to experience the world of Superman and all the characters and the whole universe behind it, and they can do that by giving us a game as well as all the movies and TV shows they're going to promote for Superman. So many different articles were covering this. David Zaslav is possibly hinting at a Superman game, and they can absolutely do this through the gaming industry by giving us more Superman games along with all the other products they want to release for Superman. All of this, I said, guys, all of this looks like it's going to be happening within the next couple of years, and I cannot wait to experience this with all of you guys. But now for the final piece of information that I told you guys I would tell you at the beginning of the video. Guys, we're getting reviews for Suicide Squad on January 9th. A bunch of different people got invited to Los Angeles to playtest Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, and there's so many people like Game Informer, Caboose, Lejeune, J Shockblast, Uncaged Games by the looks of it, and many more who got to play this game, and they are going to reveal their impressions on January 9th, and I cannot wait to see what people have to say about this game.